Hello, bienvenidos. Welcome back to my channel. So today, as you guys can see for the title, I am doing my very long awaited, basically low buy of the year. I wanted to do this back in January. As you guys know, I could not film in January, so that did not happen. So today I want to share with you guys my intro, my quick rules of it, and how I have been doing basically for the month of January, because I do have some changes that have happened in January that'll affect this after the intro. So I might as well just do the intro and the first update all in one, so that way we can continue to be on track for the rest of the year. So if you're interested to hear what I am doing this year for my low buy that I am actually filming, I did this last year, but I did it all on my own, so I didn't film it. So if you're interested to know what exactly I am doing, stay tuned. But first, if you're new, welcome. My name's Alejandra. I go by Alex. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a Dash Project Pan. If that's something you want to continue to see on your feed, subscribe, join our crazy family. And now let's get on with my low buy rules and update. This whole entire series was inspired by It's Just Steph here on YouTube. She does a beauty bank, which I think, I really do think it's genius what she did. And I've been following her now for at least this series of hers all last year. I've been following Steph for a very long time. But this series caught my attention last year because I was doing it on my own. And I really liked her rules and the way that she did it. Obviously, I'm going to tweak it to accommodate my way of bringing in things, using up stuff, and what I want as my ultimate goal for this year when it comes to my low buy. This is not a strict low buy. I want to make that very clear. This isn't something where I am going out of control and I need some sort of reining back. You guys saw my inventory numbers. I'm not really spending a lot of money, but I still like to keep myself in check because I know my own personality, my own self, that if I do not have some sort of structure or some sort of rules, I tend to go nuts without realizing it. So I always like to have something there, like some sort of fence to keep me there with a gate that I can go in and out only when I have the key to unlock the gate, kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys what it is that I want to do this year. All right, so first and foremost, I know myself, and I know that if I do a year-long no buy, it's going to fail. I'm going to fail. So I always find it easier if I have shorter goals in my mind. It's a little bit easier for me to get to the year long without having to think it's a whole entire year. So this part of it is going to be, it started in January 1st, and I will end these rules on June 1st. So I'm going to do the first 6 months. I'm just going to concentrate first on the first 6 months of the year. That way I have a quicker end goal and I'm not feeling like this is taking way too long. I'm going to fail, because that's how my mind works. So I will start it again, sort of like I'll continue it obviously, but then I'll do my goals for the second half of the year. So this is only going from January 1st to June 1st. So how Steph does it, she does a beauty bank with credits, and typically you roll in your empties of the previous year and you start out with those points. Well, I had 77 empties last year, and that is way too many points in my opinion for me, because I don't need that. I don't want that. I don't want 77 products to come into my collection for the year. Like, I'm trying to control how many things are coming in, but still wanting to be accountable some way, somehow, without it just popping up at the end of the year in my makeup inventory numbers. So instead of 77 points, I am going to use a number you guys seem to love, 27. So I am going to actually start out with 27 credits. And I honestly don't think that I will use up 27 credits this year. I don't know. At least right now, I feel like that's still way too much for me, but I'm going to go with it because you guys seem to like that number. So 27 credits, I'm going to start out with in my beauty bank, which means I can bring in 27 products. Obviously, any products that I completely use up or are an empty will be credited back as 1 point. I also like the fact that if I hit pan on any makeup item and I actually hit the pan, the bottom of anything, I'm giving myself a half a point because I am halfway there to finish that empty. And that is still an accomplishment in my eyes. So I will be giving myself half points for any pans that I hit this year. I am not counting replacements into my points. I'm also not counting gifts or PR because that will just make it miserable for me. I don't get a lot of gifts and I don't get a lot of PR, but when I do, I feel like that is something special, especially when it comes from a gift from somebody. And for PR, that feels special to me because I'm being acknowledged for my hard work on here. And if a company wants to work with me, I don't want to punish myself and not want to be able to learn from it, get a new brand, try a new brand, share something that I genuinely love with you guys, because I don't want my credits to go negative, if that makes any sense. So I'm not going to point any of those. Anything that I declutter will not be included in here. If I declutter it, that means it's gone. I don't get to add an extra point in here. Declutter to me means you're giving it away to somebody, you're throwing it in the trash, not necessarily counting it as your makeup empty as the end of the year. So it shouldn't count, at least in my eyes, for any of these points or point system. Now, obviously, if this doesn't work for me after June 1st, I will tweak the rules. It's pretty easy, self-explanatory, my rules. I'm not trying to make this difficult. I'm not trying to jump through hoops, and I'm not trying to make this a miserable 6 months for me where I'm lusting over things and I can't get it. My goal is just to make sure that I'm not going crazy. I, at the end of the day, don't want to bring a lot of products into my collection, but I do understand that I do have a YouTube channel and I do love eyeshadows, whether it's eyeshadow palettes, eyeshadow single, eyeshadow pots. I do not want to punish myself in allowing myself to get something to review on my channel, to showcase on my channel, to share, because I still like to bring in new items, but I don't want it to be a habit where I was years ago, where I was bringing a lot of things and it was just absolutely getting out of control. I have come a long way from that person that I was to now that I don't want to go back to that person. That person had a lot of anxiety because of so much stuff that was coming in, and I don't want to be that way. I technically don't need to do a low buy this year because I feel like last year really got me in a groove, but I asked you guys if you wanted me to share this with you guys because a lot of you guys are trying to do a low buy or wanting to see how I do it. So this is why I'm mainly doing it this year. And of course, I just want to see how I do when it is on camera versus all by myself. And I should mention this, when it comes to eyeshadow, I should have said this before, but when it comes to eyeshadows, there are certain brands that I will always buy their palettes because I just love their formula and color stories. And I mean, the brands are $5 or less. It's not even a lot. So anytime that those brands will come out with something, I will always purchase them to do reviews on my channel. I've always done them since day one, and I will continue to do them because I genuinely love the formula and will use that palette. I'm not buying palettes just because, and I don't have much interest in trying new brands just because I think I've tried everything and I already know what I love. If there's a new brand out there that has been getting great reviews for a while now, I'll consider it. But the one time I did last year, try a new brand, I got burned big time. And I spent my money and it was wasted. So I have been on this platform for so long and I've tried so many different formulas that I already know what I like. So I'm not doing this because I'm trying new brands. There's many other YouTubers that try new brands. I just don't want to do that anymore. Some brands are just overpricing things for what they are, and I am just not interested anymore. If there is a new brand out there that I do, and I have tried new brands last year through PR, and I am so thankful and so grateful because I wouldn't have tried them on my own if it wasn't for them reaching out, just because I like to give myself a little bit longer time hearing reviews of certain brands before I jump into them at this point. I no longer want to be the first one to try a new brand just because I've gotten burned so much, and money is getting tighter just because my car is dying and we're going to have to get a new car this year. And as we all know, the economy and cars are just overpriced as well. So I'm a little nervous to see what we're going to get as far as a car because my car is on its last limb. So I do have to consider that as well. There are certain things within our family that we want to do, and I just can't keep spending money on makeup and then hating it or not using it because I didn't really like it that much. All right. Now that we are done with that, let's get on with January. So January, I was sick, obviously. I didn't do a lot of shopping at all, but there was one thing that I wanted towards the end of the month. It just so happened that I was feeling a lot better and I was able to get on my phone and I was able to purchase it. So I did do one purchase, one and only one purchase, and that is the Sydney Grace Be Mine palette. This palette you will see next week in a Get Ready With Me. So this is what the palette looks like right here, you guys. I love Sydney Grace, and you guys know that I have owned almost all their palettes, and if not in a palette form, in a single. I got the light version this time. Typically, I would get the deep version, but I felt like the light version was a little bit better for me. So I will be using this on camera. Stay tuned for that. It will be coming. But this is the only purchase I did in January. So that means I went from 27 credits to 26 credits. I didn't buy anything else. I was good. I was awesome. Actually, I was surprised that I even bought this because I typically wait a little bit, but I waited too long on the Endearing Love palette that I wanted to get this one and try it out myself. So now let's see our empties. I did have two empties. Surprisingly, I did have two empties. The first empty was this Ofra HD Volumizing Mascara. This was sent to me in PR. I was not a fan of this. This was very, very drying, and the brush was more like a plastic bristle brush. I just wasn't a fan of this at all. Like, this didn't even last me that long because it was just super, super drying. And when adding coats to my eyelashes just made it even more drying. So I wasn't a fan of this one, but this is considered a point. So I'm back up to 27 points on this one, which is yay, I'm still there. I also have a second empty, which was this lip gloss. As you guys can see, this lip gloss is basically almost done. I've been using this lip gloss since November of last year. So this is why you're seeing that. I don't take out stoppers. I could have had more usage out of this at the bottom, but because I was using this while not being aware that I had Rona, I'm not going to put this back on my lips. I'm sorry. I am very particular. Even when I have a common cold, if I'm using a lip product, if I can't disinfect it, it's gone. I change my toothbrush. Every time I am sick, my toothbrush is thrown out in the trash and I get a new toothbrush. I don't care. I am that particular when it comes to my mouth. If I cannot disinfect it, it is leaving. I threw away my chapstick. I got rid of this. Like, I can't do it. But I am considering this an empty, considering I basically used almost all of this product. I'm not somebody who takes out stoppers out of lip glosses specifically because it deters me from finishing it up. It's just too goopy for me, and then I can't travel with it because it gets all gunky. I don't like it. So it doesn't matter to me because I wasn't going to take out the stopper of this anyway. This was a beautiful lip gloss. I enjoyed this formula and the color. Surprisingly, it's a red, but it didn't look red on my lips. It looked like my lips, but better with the gloss. It was beautiful. Loved this. So it's a shame I couldn't really get more use out of it, but I probably only had like 2 weeks left anyway. So I am calling this an empty because I genuinely used this, and you can see that I've used this. So that's another point. So I am up 28 points. Last thing I want to share with you guys is I did get a pan in the month of January for my Pan Those eyeshadows, which was this glitter right over here. So because I got a pan in something, that's half a point. So I'm up to 28.5 points in my beauty bank. My intentions for February, I really don't have much that I want to purchase. The new Natasha Denona, she's coming out with like a pastel palette. I'm not interested in that. I think I'm going to skip it just because I don't do pastels often. I do still want to get the little mini Biba and the mini, the pink one. It came out when I was 6, so I don't even remember what it's called. But I am interested in those two. I don't know if I'll get them as Valentine's Day gifts or not. I don't know because I did request them. We will see how and if they do come in February. But other than that, I don't have any intentions of getting anything. At least right now, none of the brands that are the ones that I always want to get have anything coming out. So right now, I might be chilling for the month of February. I'm telling you right now, once May hits though, this is all gonna change because in the summer is where I go nuts when it comes to products because I love the color stories that come out. So I'm trying to be good about that. But that's it, you guys. That's my rules. I'll have everything down in the description box. It's just, I take it a day at a time. I always find that if you do shorter goals, you'll get to your long-term goal eventually and it won't feel like torture. So this is why I'm doing only 6 months in the beginning. And then I'm gonna add the last 6 months to see what my rules are for the last 6 months, considering it's Christmas, the holiday season, so on and so forth. So that's where we stand right now, you guys. I'm excited. And I will say that if I purchase anything for gifts for people, that doesn't count either. Just just in case somebody asked that. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you are doing this and what your rules are. Maybe I can tweak them a little bit in the future to see if something might work for me. But this is how it's going to work for me right now. I find this to be the easiest way for me. And I am actually excited to see how I do with my dollars and cents. All right, guys, I'll put more videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, adios.